and welcome to the Nerd Age Podcast. This is a show where four dudes talk nerdy to each other. My name is Jonah, and I am joined by my buddy Corey.
Yeah, what's up?
And Josh.
Ooh, what's up?
I said four dudes. Mick's not here, unfortunately, but he'll be back next week for sure. We're going to jump into Loki. Loki came out. We've been talking about Ahsoka a lot. We didn't get a chance to watch Loki. Josh and I were able to watch episodes 1 and 2 of Loki. Corey, unfortunately, wasn't able to.
Yeah.
But we're going to talk about it anyways. And then we'll just kind of see where else the show goes to. So, Josh, you saw both episodes. What did you think of Loki season 2 so far?
So far, I think it's a good start. I'm kind of reluctant or hesitant saying that because I feel like I've said that with every Marvel show. And I'm like, oh, yeah.
Like they start well.
This is interesting.
Yeah.
There's some things that I'm interested in, and then they just fall off a cliff. But I think the strongest thing about this season, or I guess these 2 episodes, is I really like Loki.
Yeah.
Which is a good thing for the,
you better.
if the show's named Loki.
Yeah.
You better like the main character.
Which one? Which Loki?
Which variant of it?
Yeah, exactly. And then Owen Wilson is really good.
Yeah, I agree.
I like their dynamic is good. And then, I think it's a good intro to the series. I think one of the biggest things it's not landing for me is the fact that we just saw Kang in Ant-Man.
Okay.
And it was like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It wasn't very impressive.
Yeah.
So the way they're building He Who Remains in this show is like he's the big bad man, and it's a cool build up. But then I think it's undercut by what we've seen in Ant-Man, unfortunately.
Well, we saw the stadium full of them going,
Yeah,
That one. Yeah.
yeah.
Wait, so is the one that was the main one in Quantumanium, that's the one they're talking about?
So not necessarily.
Okay.
So they're talking about his variants are coming.
Right. But the one, what did they say?
He Who Remains was
Yeah.
the guy in Loki season at the end of
Yeah,
Loki
he
season
was the
1.
one that
well, he was saying
there.
like, I'm doing this because the other ones are terrible.
Right.
Oh, okay.
And the one they
So it was
banished
that one.
he was the one in Ant-Man
Oh,
that they're
right,
like, this
right.
guy is so bad that
Yeah.
we got to banish him.
So
Right.
And he
That's
got
probably-
defeated by ants.
yeah.
So,
But I mean-
It was a lot of ants though.
yeah,
And they
but
were big ants.
True.
Well, technically small ants, but you know what I mean.
So the threat remains, and they make that evident early on.
Yes.
Okay.
So from the get-go,
there's like statues of him everywhere.
Yeah.
And Loki's like
Right,
getting
because that's how they ended last.
right. So now when
season.
he's there, he's jumping in the past and the future. Like he
Right.
keeps jumping.
Yeah.
And there's like when he jumps into the future, I guess it is. You find out it's the future. He's seeing all this stuff like no one knows who he is and the statues of him and all this kind of stuff. So he's like, dude, this guy's bad news because we thought we fixed it, but no. So, it's, I do like the build up, but you're right. It does kind of seem like it's undercut by what we saw in Ant-Man. And the other thing is this show, I agree with you about, I like Loki. I think Owen Wilson is awesome. Their dynamic is much better. I really like that they jumped right back into it. I thought we were going to have like 3 or 4 episodes where it's like, hey, we have to figure out who you are kind of thing again.
No.
And they jumped right into it, which was good. I really like Obi, who is Short Round. If you've watched
Ki-Hu Kwan.
if you've watched Indiana Jones.
I think I saw some shots of him.
He is awesome, and I just love him in everything, but he's great in the show. But yeah, the other thing that just rubs me the wrong way, and I know you mentioned this, I think last week when it was either Kevin Feige or someone said like, don't take it too seriously or something like that. But it's hard not to when there's like this massive, like the plot of this whole thing is like, first of all, in season 1, it was like no one had any free will in the Marvel universe. It was all controlled by the guy at the end of time. So that's a pretty big thing to then be like, forget that. But then in this one, it's kind of like all these branches, all these timelines are getting pruned, so they're getting destroyed now. And then it's like, what is going on here? It's so all over the place, and like we're going to the future, we're going to the past, we're going to this different timeline, we're doing all this kind of stuff that just seems so big that it's hard for me to not think bigger stakes. Does that make sense? If it's just like how does that all connect? How does that all make sense? Anyways, it's kind of what you talked about, why you hate time travel, because it just opens up so many stuff. I feel like this has the same aspect to it, where I'm like, she's in the 80s. What timeline is she in? You know, guys are jumping into other stuff. It's kind of just all over the place.
Was it cool? Like, was the rule of cool like the driving force here? Just because they can do it and it's awesome, it's a cool idea. Is that like a driving force on their decisions for that? Do you think?
No, I think they're trying to tell a story. So again, 2 episodes in, I think there's more to tell.
Because you guys basically watched the hook of the series with the first 2 episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the hook was, did you buy into the hook for the whole story? Like
I don't know if they've really established it yet.
Really?
Because so he's looking for Sylvie.
Yeah.
Because he's like, we need to find out, and because he's gotten information when he jumped to the future, he got some information about the TVA.
Yeah.
And then they're realizing that Miss Minutes, the clock thing, is working with He Who Remains. So now they're trying to figure out how to, like, the whole universe is going to be destroyed unless they figure out how to stop the timelines from spreading, like
Right.
this whole thing. So, and then you have people in the TVA who are pruning the timelines, and they're the group. Loki and the other people are the ones that they're like, these are actually people. Like, they lied to us. You're murdering people. So there's so that's kind of what we've gotten so far. But to me, it just seems so massive. It's just like, so that's the tough thing for me watching it, is like, how am I supposed to not take this too seriously when there's kind of big implications to it? But it's just kind of interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if I heard that from Kevin Feige, like that Kevin Feige. Maybe
No, it was about the Marvel. It was literally the Marvel's trailer.
Oh, okay.
Where it was a line she said, and I just thought it was funny because, because it's supposed to be a goofy movie.
Yeah.
So it wasn't about the Loki stuff.
Does that change your entire opinion?
But let's be honest, they don't want you to take it seriously.
Now I can take it seriously, and that's what I've been doing.
Dang, that line was saving their butts. -2.
Yeah, I think you said you didn't buy into even Loki season 1, right? Was the fact that like everything was connected in this way, and
right? They made
that premise didn't work for
Yes.
you. I think for me, whatever. I don't take it too seriously. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
you're a
it was
Marvel
fun.
chill, as they say.
Exactly. But,
You eat what they feed you.
I think for me, the setup, it worked for me.
Cool.
Like, I'm interested to see.
good.
I do like what they did with the time travel, with him going back and then basically him having that conversation with Obi.
That was cool.
That was really cool. So, you know how they always do with time travel, they're always like, oh, well, it hasn't happened yet, so you don't remember it. And then they're like, well, if it did happen, then you would remember it. They basically do that in real time. So they're having a conversation with Obi, and they're like, he's like, I don't remember anything.
Oh
like,
my gosh,
and
yeah.
So, and then he goes back, and then he's like, you really don't remember any of this? And he's telling him in the past, like, oh, hey, my name's Loki. I'm from the future. And he's like, that's hard to believe or whatever. And then they go back to the future. And he starts remembering. He's like, "Oh, he starts remembering things."
So Owen Wilson is talking to him in the future.
Say, hey, remember when I brought up that thing back in in the past?
So,
but to the future guy,
yeah,
I hate this crap. But yeah, okay, go ahead.
But Loki gets
it.
sent while they're talking to him. Yeah, and so they're having a conversation at the exact same time.
It's a way to make him understand in the past.
But does that make sense though?
What do you mean?
Well, because this is what I thought.
It's time travel. So
No, but. So
don't think about it.
Up to that point, Loki's like thinks he's in the past, right? And then at the end of the episode, it's revealed that he's actually in the future.
Not all the time.
Okay, so he conveniently got sent to the past before, and then at the end, he got sent to the future.
Right. Because I don't think it's consistent either which way. It's just he happened to notice, oh, I'm in the future because Owen Wilson had written the thing on the... And before he was sent to the past, and he didn't realize, like, that's why they didn't remember him, because he got sent to the past.
Right.
Now, when he goes to the past, is there no like physical like clues to like, oh, it's older clothes or it's
no, because he's in the TVA.
Yeah.
So that's one of the problems. One of the awesome things about Back to the Future is that they have so many visual clues, and they lay it out Marty, we're gonna do this, and you know what I mean, and they like lay it out, and it's so easy to comprehend.
Yeah. Well, I don't think, because it just happens in the first episode, and that's kind of like what the problem is. Like he's got to figure out a way to stop jumping into different times. So they do it on purpose where you don't know where he's at because he doesn't know where he's at. Okay. So it's just, I don't want you to think like it's like this whole big thing. It's just kind of like they have to figure out how to stop him from doing that, and that's the gist of the first episode.
And the writing is smart because they give you visual clues of like, oh, this is how you know now that you were in the past.
Okay.
So they do it with, I mean, we're going into spoilers, so whatever. But basically, this thing crashes and cracks the logo on the ground.
Okay.
And so there's a crack in there.
So when it's not cracked,
right?
You know
and so then he goes to the future, and he's like, "Was that always like that?" And so then you know, oh, that happened in the past, and now we're in the present where they recognize him.
Right.
And so that's how he kind of realizes. So they do a couple things like that.
That's
I would say they write it into basically like have you figure it out, like it's like a visual clue instead of without them explicitly just straight up telling you. So I think that they do a good job of it. I think as far as time travel goes, to kind of explain that. But yeah, so that's pretty much the first episode is like kind of the setup, and then they're trying to find Sylvie is how it ends up. And in the second episode, there's basically this guy that's gone rogue essentially, and he's living in an old timeline. So he's like, I'm part of the TVA, so I'm gonna he's basically like he's an actor. Basically, he has a movie basically like in the 70s, I think it is 77. So yeah, they're trying to go back and trying to find out. He knows where Sylvie is somehow, so they're trying to get that from him. I thought the beginning scene was cool because it was a little bit more of like Time Cop. That we talked about before of like, oh, we wanted to see Owen Wilson and
time detectives
going through time and being detective. So it's kind of part of that, and you get to see Loki actually use his powers, which I know you were like, I thought he couldn't use his powers, and I'm like, no, he can use his powers. They just never use them.
I thought there was a reason he couldn't. In season 1, I thought they said there was a reason he couldn't. In this episode, out of nowhere, because even in the first episode, he's running around and he's not like they're trying to stop him, and he's like not doing any of his like they're trying to prune him, and he's like just running and he's like doing all this stuff, and like grabs the guy and throws him and jumps through a window and all this crazy stuff, and then episode 2 starts and he's there and the guy's like trying to run away from him, and he just goes and like
he shoots
the guy, and then he's running, and then a bunch of guys are like trying to beat him up, and you realize that Loki like made all those guys appear.
Yeah,
and then he makes 3 of them appear.
I thought there was a reason why he couldn't use.
And
his
he
powers.
grabs them with the shadows, and I was like, what? So that was that threw me off because I don't want to go back to watch Loki season 1 to find out, but it's a little irritating to me that he hasn't used it. And then all of a sudden in episode 2, it's like...
Because they had that fight on that train and stuff. Like, he could have been using his powers during that.
Wasn't he using his powers in that one?
Was he? I thought she was the one who had to kind of carry it because she had the powers.
I don't know.
I thought that's what I remember. She had the power and she could
was like kind of helpless.
And that's why he would be like, hey, you can look into my mind and stuff.
We're going to have to look back into it. Dang it. Gosh, dang.
But someone will tell us if we're wrong.
For sure.
That's a huge plot point though, because I'm just assuming... Like, unless I just completely forgot that there was something that happened that changed that he can use his powers now.
The weird thing is that sounds like what that kind of sounds familiar. That's so weird. I don't know. We'll have to check into it. It's possible.
It's even not consistent though with the first episode where he's running away and he's scared, and I'm like, you should use your powers.
Yeah, because his powers are honestly kind of overpowered.
Yeah, he's a god.
Yeah, he's a god. And it's like, that's kind of what I want to see out of him. It's like, why would you just want to see like Loki not have powers? So I thought that was cool.
Or the other thing, he's interrogating a dude, right? Yeah. In episode 2. And so he has to bring in a machine to like force the guy like into a little square. Can he not use
powers in the TVA?
Is that what it is?
Oh, is that?
That might be
That might be it. Because remember
that makes sense.
The Power Stone and stuff like that, they don't do anything.
That's it.
Okay. That was it then.
So since they were back in time on Earth in the sacred timeline, they could, because all the stuff couldn't work.
They're like, oh yeah, it's like Yeah, paperweights.
But
We-
he could
we
have used it on the train though, because they were in the TVA at that point. Anyway, wow, figured it out.
Yeah,
Problem
guys.
solved.
Hey, that's what happens when
We're
you
probably
when you
wrong.
talk
Let's just talk it out.
when you
guys.
talk it out, guys.
I love that.
But yeah, I mean, so and then episode 2 ends with them finding the group of people that are basically bombing
Right,
the timelines, and at the end of the episode, all the branches that were on the screen, there's now just one.
Oh, okay.
There's like a couple. I think.
There's like one that's one big one,
Right.
and then a bunch of blown up ones.
Yeah, so I thought that was interesting that you have this kind of like almost different factions within
Yeah.
the TVA that are like, we can do whatever we want now. So we need to prune these different timelines. So I thought that was kind of an interesting dynamic to introduce. But yeah, it seems
We got it right, guys.
boom,
Nice.
nice. Look at that.
We did it.
Yep. Nice job.
Interesting. Because there's been set pics from Deadpool 3, and they're saying, is this because one of the sets is Hugh
Gonna be a
Jackman as
crossover?
Wolverine,
Yeah.
and he has the old Wolverine suit on, and Deadpool, but where they're fighting, there's a 20th Century Fox like sign, like in the background, just like destroyed, kind of like Planet of the Apes, you know, Statue of Liberty. And so they're like, did they just blow up one of the timelines, and that's where the Deadpool movie is taking place? It's like a blown up timeline, or
That'd be pretty
half
interesting.
pruned, and they'd be like,
interesting.
and that way they could connect. Be like, oh, this is the 20th Century Fox back when they owned
Yeah.
X-Men, and it was sold off to Disney. Like that would be kind
That
of
would be
interesting.
that would be a
if they-
funny
if they
like,
did it
meta
that way.
to do it.
And that would totally happen in Deadpool's.
Yes,
movie.
and that makes sense to do it in that movie.
Yeah.
But anyways, so yeah, it was kind of interesting. I've enjoyed both episodes. I think like going back to what we said, the best part of it, I think, is the dynamic between the
Owen
characters
Wilson, yeah.
and Owen Wilson and Obi and all that kind of stuff, and Loki. And I don't mind Sylvie. I think she's pretty good.
Yeah.
We kind of got her just a little bit in this episode, but I think that's the best part. Again, if I don't think about it too hard to be like,
Right.
how does this fit?
Yeah.
It's kind of like, okay, let me just watch, because I do think it's pretty good. The one scene that I really didn't like was when they're eating the key lime pie.
Yeah.
And then he's like, remember when I got angry and I went to New York and I got an army of people, and then,
Yeah.
you know, and he basically walks through like what happened in the movie. And he's like, and then I tried to, you know, use the Mind Stone on Tony Stark and I got angry, so I threw him off a building, you know, kind of like
Right.
that to me felt like,
That was a little too far for you.
well, just too, it wasn't clever. It was just kind of like, okay, this, I don't know. That's probably my
Okay.
biggest complaint.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
wasn't a
joke
big deal.
missed the mark for you. Yeah.
I do think the humor's been decent.
Yeah.
There haven't been anywhere that I'm like, oh, that's over the top cheesy or anything like that.
Well, anytime you have Owen Wilson delivering his lines, it's like,
yeah, he's
It
pretty
fits.
great. Like,
yeah. Way
I
more
like-
believable.
ski.
I like when the dude's like, yeah, are you an actor? And he's like, no, I'm not an actor. It's pretty good. Yeah, Owen Wilson's the man.
Yeah.
I will say the other thing I enjoy about the show is I like the way it looks. It's it's unique. Most Marvel things kind of just blend together. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they don't have a style or they don't have a certain aesthetic. It's all just pretty like, oh, CGI everything, shiny lights, whatever.
Yeah.
But this has like a specific style. I think the shots are pretty good. Like there's some pretty cool shots with reflections on off the ground and the hallways and stuff like that. So I think it's interesting to watch, not just story wise, but visually what they're doing with the camera work and stuff like that. So I think that's another positive for the show instead of it just being kind of like
And the people, characters, they seem to fit naturally in the environment that they've created for them.
Yeah.
In the scenes. Okay. That's good. Because, I from the screenshots I've seen, they look really oversaturated, like really bright colors. But maybe it was just the few shots that I saw. It was of a short round holding some items up and
Oh yeah.
it was very saturated. So I was like, oh, interesting. That kind of just stood out to me. But I'm glad it's all fits together really well. That's great.
Yeah.
I'll have to catch up. I almost watched it. Sorry, guys. We didn't coordinate it.
we'll have to do it next week. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Next week we'll continue talking about episode 3.
Yeah. Do we know how many episodes there are going to be?
I don't know. I assume they always do 6 to 8, right? They do
Yeah, it's
8.
usually
like
6 to 8.
eight, yeah.
So I don't know. But yeah, we're going to just move on to kind of some random news, an assortment of news. We'll stay in the Marvel universe because a few things dropped during the week that I thought would be interesting to talk about. The first thing was that Daredevil Reborn, is that what it's called?
Yeah.
They are...
It's getting reborn again.
Apparently, they watched it.
Reborn again.
Watched how much they had, and that they thought it was really boring and it wasn't working.
Whoa.
And so they're going back. They fired the writers that were working on it and are starting over.
Yeah.
Which is pretty nuts.
Did they shoot everything?
Well, yeah,
know
because
if
they watched it.
Yeah, I don't know. Is everything done?
Well, you can watch it without CGI and
Right,
stuff like
yeah,
that.
Well, I don't know if they finished. I don't think it was completely finished, but I
Yeah,
think
right.
the
bones were there.
Yeah.
Like
it was
the
there,
main- the
and they
main
ended
part.
up firing the people that were doing it. They're changing the way, because how they've done it is they've just had writers come in and do their thing, and then the directors do it. And now they're going back to, hey, we're going to hire a showrunner for our Marvel TV shows, because they don't have showrunners.
Yeah.
And so they're like, we're actually going to get a person that's in charge of all the TV stuff who's going to hire a showrunner.
Weird. They're
going to be in charge of it. So they're revamping how they're doing it, because I think a lot of people have been burned by the quality of the Marvel TV shows.
Sure.
So apparently they're going back to the drawing board on Daredevil. What do you guys think? Were you guys excited for the show? I know a lot of people love the original Daredevil Netflix show. They say that's probably the best one. But what are you guys' thoughts on this whole thing?
So I think it's a good thing that they're restarting, because everyone's going to compare it to that Netflix,
Yeah.
the Netflix series. And from what I think IGN said, that Matt Murdock didn't even put on the Daredevil suit until episode 4.
Ooh.
So, and that it was more of a law procedural.
So that was my one question was,
So that's
what do they mean by boring?
that's
Because
what
boring could be actually really interesting.
So what IGN said, I think it's from the Hollywood Reporter, is the original report, is that it was more styled like a law procedural, like almost like Law and Order. Which is weird to me that you would go that route when She-Hulk already kind of is doing that or did that.
Yeah, but kind of in a more of a goofy way.
Well, yeah, but it just seems kind of like it out of touch, I guess.
Yeah.
And then obviously you're just going to have people compare this to you're just going to compare it to the Netflix Daredevil show and be like, what? What are you doing?
Yeah.
So I think it's a good thing that they're restarting, and kind of hopefully they'll get it closer to what the original or the Daredevil Netflix show is.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's a good thing. It's kind of crazy that it's like this late in the game and they're like, we're going to scrap everything. So kind of crazy. I'm interested to see what happens.
I wonder who made the decision on that, because that is a crazy decision.
Yeah.
It's like all the writers are, on hiatus because of the strikes, and they're like, I was thinking while we were on vacation, maybe we should redo that thing.
Jeez,
dude, that's gonna be so expensive. But I think that it's good that they understand that their quality is maybe looked at as lower quality right now, and so maybe you guys need to be more careful and more purposeful on what you guys do and put out there for the TV stuff.
Yeah.
So I think it's overall good. Yeah. Especially if he's not putting on the suit until episode 4. That's crazy.
Well, to me, it's like, again, we've kind of mentioned, I guess there's not huge fan base for the TV shows. I feel like a lot of people it started off with like, oh my gosh, we're going to get Disney Plus shows of the Marvel universe. And it kind of has gotten to a point where people are like, man, these haven't been very good. So at what point I guess, is there a real desire for people to see a Daredevil Disney Plus show? Like, are people going to get subscriptions to watch a Daredevil show? That to me is a weird thing, because I'm like, a lot of people love the Netflix show. And then when Disney took it over and got all the rights to do it, people were like disappointed. And I don't think there was a huge pop, because he was in She-Hulk.
Yeah.
Right? So I don't know. It's a weird thing to me. It's like, is this worth spending the money? I think they have to do it now, but if they're reshooting it, like, now you're spending a ton of money
he was
for
in
it.
Spider-Man as well.
Right.
So he's already tied in.
Yeah. So it's just kind of an interesting.
I think it's worth it. I think there is a lot of hype behind the character. People love him.
Yeah.
So I think, yes, it's a no-brainer to do it, but you got to do it right. So that's the concern. But because I remember being in the theaters and people being stoked seeing him in which Spider-Man, the third one or second one?
No, it was a what is this last one?
No Way Home? No.
Homecoming, Far From Home, No Way Home.
Yeah,
right?
No Way Home. Okay. At the end of that, where he like caught the brick or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, what? I remember people being stoked, and I remember on Twitter people being excited about it, the potential of him. But I think they're more excited maybe a movie. But it became a show. So I know that for me personally, that kills the hype a little bit because I know that the shows are lower quality. So maybe this helps mend that negative connotation all these shows have.
I mean, the problem is we're saying that the shows are lower quality, but have the movies really been much better?
No,
quality?
movies haven't been better.
Yeah.
Not for the past, 5 years?
Yeah.
I mean, since
It's been a long time.
since Endgame and right? Like
after Endgame.
Yeah.
Well,
Phase whatever.
I mean, you guys like Shang-Chi. I didn't.
The Spider-Mans are very good.
Yeah, but that's Sony though.
Well,
I mean, in
it's
conjunction,
Marvel,
but it's
yes.
like,
yeah.
I mean, let's not give Sony any credit.
well, I'm giving Sony credit.
Shang-Chi I liked.
Yeah. But I think other than that, it's been kind of pretty.
Yeah, it's been pretty.
Yeah.
I think most people kind of feel that way too, of just like, yeah, these movies aren't like must see anymore.
Man, you know what I will say though? The reason why I like Shang-Chi is because it was closed off from the rest of the whole storylines.
Contained.
There was no intertwined attitude like with everything. There's no, Thor came in at the end to save him. Bro, let them have their own self-contained situation and let me enjoy those characters.
Well, here's a question. Then speaking about that, apparently Kevin Feige, there's rumors that they're going to use Secret Wars as a way to soft reboot the MCU.
Okay.
So
How so?
I don't know. That's just what's come out. They're using Secret Wars as kind of like, hey, we've gotten up to this point, and now we're gonna reboot. So
what is
to me,
Secret Wars?
it's a weird. To me, it's a weird thing. Like, what's the definition of a soft reboot? Because this is like
That means they're going to keep some, lose some.
right.
Yeah. And
I would think they keep Fantastic Four,
Aquafina.
X-Men, that kind of stuff.
keep Fantastic Four.
No, because I think they're
They haven't
introducing
even been introduced yet.
but they will be
yeah.
at that point, and the X-Men. So I think they go
I
that
hope so.
route.
They've spent so much money on it.
I think they go that route, and then everything else that has come before, the Daredevils, all that kind of stuff.
You get rid of completely.
It's a soft
you
reboot.
think they get rid of not Iron Man, but the Iron Girl.
It's too messy. That
think
series,
get rid of that.
Ironheart, has already got pushed back to like 2025 or something. Like, I don't even think they're going to touch
So you
that.
think that's on the chopping block? That kind of stuff.
So that's what I'm thinking. I think when you say there's too much, like the Ant-Mans, like whatever they decide to do with Kang, I just feel like the old Marvel stuff already has too much strings attached to it, too many complications. Like even the Loki stuff we're talking about. I think you get characters like new X-Men, Fantastic Four, you get young actors. You're like, hey, we're going to do this now. And this is kind of, we're done with this. And eventually you might want to bring it back, but you just don't need to does that make sense? Because or what do you guys think? What would you guys think would be the soft reboot that would work for you guys?
What is a soft reboot? I mean, hard reboot is you erase everything.
Right.
New timeline, new story, everything. You could do Iron Man again.
Yeah.
Soft reboot, I think, means you get some redos and some brand news, and you get rid of some of the old stuff. So, I mean, I thought that's what they were going for anyway. When it came to this like alternate timeline stuff, and then they started introducing, like Doctor Strange and that stuff, and showing like what could have been. I thought that's what they were kind of trying to go for. I don't think they shut down Ironheart, but maybe they. I don't know. Maybe they do.
The problem though with those timelines is that yes, that would have been a way to be like, hey, we're in this new timeline. But what they did was they kind of showed these timelines and then brought it back so that they're all intersecting with the universe. So it it makes it seem like you just made everything bigger with the same universe. Instead of being like, hey, let's go to this other timeline and start telling stories over here that has nothing to do with this.
Right.
It seems like they were like, this is all here. Now let's bring it back to where everyone else is. And it just makes everything convoluted. So I think they missed their chance to,
What do you think, Josh?
Yeah, it's tough because like I think for me, especially with the X-Men coming in, I'm like, I don't really care about the X-Men interacting with the Avengers. You know what I mean?
yeah, just give
Like
me
that's not something I need to see.
Yeah.
So it's like I'd rather have them separated. So that your idea sounds more appealing to me, where it's like, oh, well, we can have the X-Men and the Fantastic Four kind of existing in the same universe, and we get rid of the other ones. I don't know whether or not they'll do that. I feel like I feel like it's they would lose too much money. You know what I mean? They want to keep all these characters around that you love, or at least introduce a different variant of them if that's what they do. So if they like, we're in a different, whatever time gets reset or whatever, and we're in a different, time period or whatever, and we have the X-Men, the Fantastic Four, and we have different new variants of the Avengers. I think that's probably what they'll end up doing, because we don't like that it's that big, right? But they like that it's that big because they have all these characters that can interact with each other whenever they want.
Right, but here's the question. You talk about interacting with characters we love. Like, what are the characters that still have a pull? Because I think the biggest one for me is like dead. Tony Stark. Yeah. He's gone.
Yeah.
You're not going to have
Captain America.
Robert Downey Jr. Captain America is gone. And so to me, it's like you've left new...
Maybe people like Hulk.
The Hulk, but he's been so inconsistent.
I need to see Hulk and Beast hang out together. I need to see Gambit hitting on She-Hulk. That's what I need.
But see, that's the thing I'm saying. I feel like they've like the whole trajectory, like Tom Holland Spider-Man, like he's in a different realm now. Like not realm, but his like he's now in the Sony kind of stuff.
He's in New York,
and so it's just
allegedly.
To me, there's that.
Right.
To me, there's that element where it's like, what are the characters that Nick Fury, like Secret Invasion was garbage.
Yeah.
And so like, what are the characters? Thor, like they screwed Thor up. People are angry at what they've done with Thor. Even Hemsworth himself is like,
he has a daughter now. Okay.
Hemsworth himself is like, if I'm doing another one, like we got to go back to what we used to do because he didn't like it. So to me, it's like, what are the characters that people want to see in it? I'd rather them just soft reboot. Give me X-Men for the next 10 years.
I mean, I like the idea. If I was doing this, I would be like, okay, that's this timeline. Cool. We're going to start with, Deadpool, Wolverine in this alternate timeline, and we'll build off that timeline. And then maybe down the road, if people really like the idea of this, we can maybe do crossover because you can still travel. But like, I would love to see them just live on their own in their own little timeline or something like that, separate. Yeah. Because you've already done so much big stuff. You've done time travel. You've done alternate realities. You do like micro, whatever, quantumanium. Like there's nothing else left unturned. Like it's kind of crazy. So I don't know. I want them to return back to epic and awesome, like big fights and big, what's that called? Thing like storylines that matter, you know, because like when we had a big giant celestial out of Earth and they don't talk about it, and it literally changed the freaking how Earth is. It's just in the middle of the ocean. It's like, bro, what are we doing?
Yeah,
you think we're stupid that we don't notice that you guys haven't even talked about it? We're not even going to address that there's a giant celestial popping out of this Earth. I don't know. It's a little complicated. I think it's still too complicated for me.
Too convoluted.
Yeah.
Speaking of X-Men, I just wanted to bring this up too, because this came out apparently just in talking about like how ridiculous studios are.
I was just about to bring this up.
Okay, what?
But they I can't remember the director of X-Men. Matthew Vaughn. He's like going over the script and he's like, what is this scene in here? He's like, I didn't write this. What is this going on? It was Storm goes and like saves kids in Africa. Like there's a drought and she does this whole thing. Okay. And he's like, what is this thing? And the studio's like, well, Halle Berry hasn't signed on yet. And so this is in here because it's what she wants. And then once she signs a contract, we'll just get rid of it.
Yeah. So it was Matthew Vaughn.
No way.
This was for X-Men.
That's messed up,
For
dude.
X-Men 3.
Wow.
And so he didn't direct X-Men 3 because he said he quit. Because he was like, because he said that there was a script that he said, I noticed it was quite a bit larger than the script I'd been looking at. And he was like, what is that? And the executive was like, oh, don't worry about that. You don't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
Because we're just basically...
We're going to cut all that stuff.
We just threw it in there to have her sign on, and then we're just going to...
That's messed up.
And he was
Dude.
like, what? I think his quote was something like, you're going to do that to a Oscar-winning actress? Like, that's crazy.
That's
and then
nuts.
he quit. He didn't end up directing.
Yeah,
but yeah, that's pretty crazy. Like, that's like how...
That's messed up.
that's
executives
it's
do it.
showbiz, baby.
Cutthroat, man. Jeez.
I love the script.
That's how they got me on this podcast.
That's how we got you on the
That's
podcast.
right. Yeah, it's pretty crazy though. I'm excited to see what they do with the X-Men because I think that's one property that I love. Mm-hmm. And again, I'm a little concerned because it's Marvel and I haven't been a huge Marvel fan, but I'm willing to give it a shot. But I really think they need to kind of like go back to original Marvel because I liked the original stuff. I liked the first Iron Man. I liked the second Iron Man.
Yeah.
First Captain America. All those.
Love the third.
The first Thor. I feel like those were good. And then I started getting jaded when I was like, okay, we've seen this movie before. I felt they kept making the same movie over and over again. And that's what drove me nuts. Where, especially when the humor started ramping up and you got 80% humor versus, 20% heart.
I think the benefit you have for X-Men is that it's called X-Men. You're not going to have like the Wolverine movie, the Gambit movie. And you're not going to have all these like 16 movies leading up to them be like, now they're the X-Men. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And there's a rumor going out that, so grain of salt, but the
giant grain of salt. We don't know your sources.
A year ago, there was a rumor going out that they were going to change the name of the X-Men because
X people.
That was the reason.
Yikes.
That was going around. And then when Bob Iger came back in, he had interviews where he said, he's like, I feel like we've messed up and doing this whole culture war kind of stuff. He's like, we need to get back to basics and just do stuff. So that he had an interview saying that.
That's surprising.
So because of that, now they're saying they're keeping the name, which is smart because X-Men fans, you want them to be called X-Men.
And we all know probably the most powerful X-Men was a woman.
Exactly. So that's not even the case.
Yeah.
But the rumor is that the X-Men movie is not going to have Wolverine in it.
Okay.
So what they're going to do is they're using Hugh Jackman in the Deadpool kind of stuff, and they'll introduce a group of X-Men and tease. I see
that all the time.
That's crazy, dude.
And they'll tease.
Could have been Wolverine.
That Wolverine is around there because they're like going to do the whole adamantium and all that kind of stuff. That'll be kind of like a tease that he's around or that they're experimenting on him, and then he'll eventually show up when they recast a new Wolverine.
Yeah.
So they're going to take their time with that, which I think is smart. So you could have an X-Men movie with, introducing Cyclops and Gambit and those characters, and then, in the second one or third one, that's when Wolverine shows up.
They need to do Gambit. And I was going to say earlier, I think one of the best things about doing X-Men now is that, first of all, there's been a lot of time since the last ones. And I'm going to be honest, they didn't do the last ones. Like, they didn't do X-Men justice, in my opinion, like, to the full extent.
No.
Where I'd be like, Iron Man, they did really well. Like, number 1 and 2, really good. Don't go back to that well yet, or whatever. Or maybe never, never go back. But X-Men, it's like, I don't know. They were all right. Some of them were all right. And I enjoyed some of the movies. But, like, I don't know. I just think there's a lot more potential with X-Men. A lot of untapped potential. So I think they could do a really good job with them.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see.
We'll see.
That's funny.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Wow.
We'll see what Marvel does. And I guess the Marvels, because that's the next movie that's coming out.
Yeah.
The box office tracking for that is like super low. So people are like, this one is going to bomb. So they're afraid that that's what Disney's like, we got to react to this. Because they said something like 30 million or something opening weekend, which is crazy to me.
There's nothing else out, which is crazy. So,
I know, but
like,
there's
we
not,
have no
like, when
competition.
you see the trailers, are people excited for this? We'll see. Let us know what you think in the comments below, or where you're listening to this, what your thoughts are on the Marvel TV shows, the recent Marvel movies that have come out. Are you still excited for what Marvel's doing? What do you think a soft reboot means? Anything you want to talk about, let us know. We'll keep the discussion going. The other thing, speaking of soft reboots, we're now going to go to the DC universe because James Gunn kind of talked about some stuff. This to me is insane that they didn't just do a hard reboot. Like, they decided to do this soft reboot and then undercut all the movies that were coming out. So apparently, the rumors are James Gunn has said that Gal Gadot, Ben Affleck, Henry Cavill, all the Snyder heroes,
Snyder originals,
they're done. They're not coming back. But he's keeping Peacemaker, Amanda Waller, so certain characters, Blue Beetle.
Yeah.
Certain characters of those will continue on. And then his comment was, with Creature Commandos comes out, that's when
The start of the new.
it was the
Can't
start of the
wait.
thing, which is I think is a weird decision. But Creature Commandos is the first thing from his universe. And then Superman Legacy is the first movie that's going to be like, okay, this is the universe. The weird thing about this is he said,
And
there'll be
we
some
knew this.
right, but he said there'll be some characters that will continue in his universe that will have the same story beats from other movies that came out in the past. So he's like, it'll be similar.
So you're doing like half canon.
It's weird.
Okay.
So it just seems confusing at that point to be like, what takes place? Because apparently he's saying that what happened in Blue Beetle isn't the same Blue Beetle. It's going to be the same actor, but that movie is not canon to his universe, which doesn't make any sense.
That's also contrary to what he said before, where he said that was the first start.
Right.
Was Blue Beetle.
So it's weird.
That's confusing.
And I frankly don't think his universe is going to get off the ground because they're saying Discovery is going to sell to Universal. And so then
DC is
at that point,
At that point, Tom Cruise is taking over.
no, at that point, I just think at that point, Universal is going to be like, well, does this make any sense? Like, are we going to pay this guy to do something? I don't know, especially if they sell it before Superman Legacy even drops, which is the rumor that they're going to sell next year.
Wow.
So to
That would be
me,
nuts.
That'd be so sad.
it's crazy. I don't know if it'd be that sad. I think what James Gunn's doing
it's
is
sad what's happening to the DC name and the stories
Yeah.
that have been written that are awesome.
And the only stuff I really
That's
care
what I
about DC doing now is the Matt Reeves stuff.
Yeah.
I like the
Yeah.
Batman stuff. So it's just interesting. What do you guys think of that whole aspect? Do you think it's the right decision? Are you guys excited for this kind of stuff, or is it confusing to you, or what are you guys' thoughts?
I mean, I think we've talked about it before. It's just like, it just seems like every other week comes out with a different tweet or something else to like, oh, well, actually, this is what's happening now. And it's like very reactionary. He's not, it screams of basically like he's insecure. It's what it almost feels like. It's like an insecurity of being like, oh, well, this is my first time being the head of a company, so I'm going to try and appease everybody. Yeah. And it's like, it doesn't, like, the fact that you would say like, oh, they're new characters, but the story beats are going to be the same. So you could it's almost like he's saying like, you can plug in that old movie.
Right.
And it's the
Yeah.
same, it's the same stuff, but it didn't actually happen, but the story beats are the same. That's weird. And then apparently they're saying that next year is when they're going to announce that Jason Momoa is Lobo.
Yes.
So it's like you have another layer of like, here's a Snyder actor who's not going to be playing a Snyder character anymore. He's in the DC universe, but he's playing a villain, a Superman villain. And you're like,
and he's going to show up in Superman Legacy.
so it's just like, what? It's just weird.
I actually have let me read so that I'm using his words. This is what he posted. Someone asked, you said DC Studios movies and canon start with Superman Legacy. I and many others are still confused. And this is what he commented. Nothing is canon until Creature Commandos next year. a sort of aperitif to the DCU, and then a deeper dive into the universe with Superman Legacy. After that, it's a very human drive to want to understand everything all the time. But I think it's okay to be confused on what's happening in the DCU since no one has seen anything from the DCU yet. And then his second comment to that was, and yes, some actors will be playing characters they've played in other stories, and some plot points might be consistent with plot points from the dozens of films, shows, and animated projects that have come from DC in the past.
Okay.
But nothing is canon until Creature Commandos and Legacy.
That's not actually that bad. He's just saying if it happens to match up,
Right.
it happens to match up.
Yeah.
Okay. That's not as bad as I thought. Well, it's still not great, but
It's weird to me that you'd be like, why keep, again, this is my whole thing is like, I don't think there's a huge draw to keep his Peacemaker crew, like Amanda Waller and that kind of stuff. I don't see where fans are like, oh, give me Creature Commandos. Give me another Harley Quinn, movie. So he's keeping that kind of stuff that to me is just weird. I would just reset, especially when you have fan favorites like Ben Affleck's Batman and stuff like that are in that same universe as the Creature Commandos and Amanda Waller and the Suicide Squad. It's weird to me that you keep Amanda Waller and Peacemaker and that when it would be so much easier just to be like, hey, we're starting fresh. All the actors, the characters are,
I get it.
It's weird.
I get why he's doing it. And you're totally right. I'm on the same kind of path you are. You say he's insecure maybe. I think he's trying to play safe. I don't think he wants to be the butt of a joke. I think he wants to be the winner. He wants to be the guy who saves DC, or he just wants to save his own skin. Yeah. So he's going to keep hold of those winners that he thinks are winners that were popular, and he's going to get rid of stuff that isn't his, and then he's going to word things like, oh yeah, Blue Beetle is going to be the start. Well, actually, Blue Beetle's not going to be the start because it wasn't as big of a hit as I thought it was going to be. So let's go Creature Commandos, and then that's not going to do well. He's going to say Legacy for sure, Superman Legacy, and then he'll be fired. So, I think he's trying to cover his butt a little bit with the choices and the words he's using, which I don't know. I guess I can't blame him, but just I wish he had. I wish he was more confident in taking risks. Like, just do it. If you think it's the best move, just do it, and then let your actions speak for you. Like, I don't know. He talks too much. Dude.
Yeah, he's on the internet too much.
Yeah, but man, I guess we'll see how it goes. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I don't even know like the amount of. Yeah, like you said, Aquaman comes out in a couple months, and the trailer was meh. They've just kind of, all the movies that have come out have just bombed because you kind of took everything. And now the whole rumors of he's not Aquaman anymore, he's going to be Lobo in the DCU is just, it's crazy to me because the first Aquaman movie made over $1 billion. That's the highest grossing DC movie. And you just totally destroyed that franchise. Like number 2 is going to bomb. Absolutely going to bomb. And the stuff that's come out of that, like the Amber Heard stuff, did you guys hear about that? James Wan wanted her fired. They said no. The studio said no. Jason Momoa wanted her fired. So she said that he showed up drunk to set and dressed up as Jack Sparrow.
Yeah.
Like
That's
crazy
the Aquaman movie I want to see.
stuff. And then the Elon Musk said if you guys get rid of her, then there'll be a lawsuit or whatever and all this kind of stuff. So crazy stuff that you just think Aquaman 2 is just gonna bomb so hard.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be a mess. The weird thing though that I kind of started realizing was that there's such a mess up for so long with like the DC universe that there's gonna be this like group of kids who grow up who's gonna be like, who's Batman? You know what I mean? Like there's gonna be a stint where they're like,
and I'll tell them Ben Affleck is Batman.
Yeah, that's great. Go for it. But honestly, seriously, they're just not producing things. Like there's gonna be a gap where it's like, I don't know, Batman's those bad movies, or whatever, or the messed up, the knockoff Marvel.
Well, it's absolutely insane because if they would have just gone with the Snyder stuff would have been over, and they would have done their reboot, and someone else would have taken like that would have been, it would have been done, and it's crazy the amount of stuff that they
There's a lot of people
screwed
to
up.
blame for that. Jeez, what a mess!
Yeah.
What a mess and a half. But
Crazy.
yeah, that's crazy news. Yeah, I heard about the Amber Heard stuff. I was like, what?
Yeah, I wonder how much she's in the
Oh
movie.
my gosh.
Probably
I
not
don't
very
know.
much,
Probably not.
A couple scenes.
Yeah.
Boys, what a mess.
Yeah, it's nuts.
What else is there?
I feel like there's something else I want to talk to you guys about, but I don't remember now. Is there anything you guys had?
Jerk.
They just saw that Minecraft update.
Oh,
they're
that's
gonna
right.
put like a Jedi adventure in Minecraft, which I thought was pretty cool. But yeah, I can't.
Yeah, the Jedi Temple on Coruscant looks sick.
yeah. And they
It
have
looks
General
pretty cool.
Grievous and like Ahsoka.
Yeah. And then
Yes.
like they go to the, I assume it was Ilum, where you're going to get the
Yeah.
Kyber crystals,
Yeah.
but they're like, a square planet instead of it's like,
Yeah.
that's pretty tight.
That look cool. I mean, if you play like Minecraft with your kids or whatever, or still play Minecraft, check it out because I think it looks really cool. I can't remember what it's called.
Oh, that's the thing.
Yeah, it looked really dope.
I'm looking for something here because it's the Lord of the Rings Gollum game.
Oh, what about it?
yeah.
Did you guys hear about that? That the studio put out an apology.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And then the
We saw that.
apology was people were like, oh, they put the apology out
ChatGPT.
on Chat GPT.
Yeah.
So there's this big uproar about that. I was like, man, even when you apologize, you do it wrong.
Yeah.
Don't be an idiot when you apologize. How about that?
It's crazy. Yeah, and it's like, while maybe they should have asked ChatGPT for coding on their game because their game is trash. Holy crap. I remember watching someone streaming and I was just like,
Yeah, that's
holy
nuts.
moly.
Well, they were supposed to work on another Lord of the Rings game, and
Not
anymore.
that studio is absolutely done for. Like,
Oh, yeah.
Dude, the more I thought about that Hobbit game, I'm like, you know what? I'd play it. Little like,
dude.
what's it
little
called?
farming.
Farm some old Toby, dude.
Yeah.
We don't know what that's what it is, but
I just can't wait for like the carnival where they're like celebrating Bilbo's, what was it? His
111th birthday.
Yeah. Where they have the dragon firework going on.
Come on.
It's going to be dope.
You kidding me?
It sounds
That's
awesome.
gonna be
And the
sick.
music will be
Yeah,
so
sure,
good, bro.
Yeah.
sure.
And then you can cook up some lembas bread.
Lambas bread.
Dude, come on. It better be, the game better be like that.
They
An Animal Crossing kind of thing.
dude, Stardew Valley,
Yeah, their update they're doing.
they have a big update, and also they have, which is crazy because one guy made all this music, but they have an orchestra going around doing a tour, doing all the
Like
music.
going to Seattle, bro.
It's so sick.
Is Crystal going? Because she has the CD, right? She listens to it.
Listens to it all the time. It's actually pretty good, dude.
No, I think the
Not gonna
music's
lie.
great. It's very calming music.
Yeah, it is.
Very calming music. If I ever need to relax at my computer,
That's right.
Get that,
it's part of my mix.
Hey, we should head over to Seattle to do the Stardew Valley. I'll dress up as my character.
Sounds
Some
great.
overalls.
Yeah, that'd be sick, dude.
What was the other?
Oh yeah, PlayStation 5.
Yeah. So the PlayStation 5, they're coming out with a slim version, which is been pretty standard
yeah.
for the last couple consoles. As mid-cycle, you get a skinnier version.
Yeah.
No updates on graphics or anything like that.
Yeah.
I think this the memory I think is 1 terabyte. No.
Whoa. It's pretty good. If it is.
No,
500?
you're wrong.
500 gigs?
Don't be
750?
wrong.
It was 885
Don't be
for some
wrong.
reason.
Don't be wrong.
85?
Yeah, the PS5 right now is 885 for some reason. So
What?
they were like, the next one's going to be a terabyte.
Oh, that's so weird.
So, but yeah, nothing like actual updates as far as like how it works or better graphics or better processor or anything
Nice.
like that. It's just smaller.
Oh, there was a big yeah, that is interesting. Is it going to be the same price, do you know?
Same price, except for I think the digital version is $50 more.
What?
It's slimmer.
And so-
It should be
And
cheaper.
so what they're saying
Wait, 'cause
is
it has a bigger hard drive?
maybe that's why.
Okay.
But I think
that makes no sense.
they're either the same price or $50 more.
Okay.
But what they're saying is like obviously once the old stock runs out, all you're going to be able to do is get
I did
the
hear
new
that.
stuff out. So
I saw, I'm just remembering this right now. Actually, Microsoft is going to obtain Activision.
yep.
And with Activision, that comes Blizzard as well. So they're becoming an ultimate Omega.
Yeah, but they've said
Mega
that.
company.
Is
Power
it finally
Rangers.
going
It's official
through?
now.
It is
Because
official.
It went
this
to
time.
court and everything.
in Europe,
Yeah.
they were like, no, you can't do this.
Yep.
Yeah, it's
It
official
actually
now.
went through.
Okay, there you go.
That was this last weekend. This last week when that happened.
Maybe they'll buy DC.
I don't think you
And
want.
it'll be Xbox exclusive.
I don't think you
You
want.
can only watch it on Xbox consoles.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It is kind of crazy how all these big companies are kind of just absorbing everyone.
Not Nintendo.
Yeah. Hey,
I mean, they might.
rumors are next year for the Switch 2 or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, and they're gonna have. They're saying that they're gonna be 2 at launch. So, $50 difference because they've done the Switch
The
Lite
Lite.
and then the Switch. What's the other one called?
Switch.
Like the console version, but like
Well, the newest. What's it called?
LED.
OLED.
OLED. Yeah. So they're saying that they're going to have 2 different ones at launch. One's going to be digital and one's going to be you actually put games in it.
Yeah.
With a $50 difference. So
Yeah.
I'm curious to see what it's going to look like. Triangle.
Pro tip: if you guys were thinking of getting the red Switch, don't do it. Just wait till next year. That's crazy that they're selling a brand new
all the time.
I think what they do is they reskin all their old inventory to be a new thing, and they just paint it red.
I mean, I got the Breath of the Wild 2 one.
And there's nothing new except for is it OLED?
Well, it was OLED, yeah.
But they already had OLED before that. I think they're just reskinning these old consoles to try to get rid of their old
it might be
inventory, which is smart. Super smart.
You guys know Jacob Weaver. He's a friend of ours.
Yeah.
He just got the Mario, the red
the
Switch.
red one.
But he collects old video games and all that stuff, and he's like
big Pokemon
I think
cards.
he trades Pokemon cards and does all this stuff, and he he opens them and stuff like that on film and on video and everything on film. On film.
That's pretty cool.
Christopher Nolan watches his stuff because it's only on
it's on IMAX.
Yeah. No, but he was saying that he got one, and I think he traded for it, like traded something for that. And he's like, the reason I did that is because for something like that, the price will go up in the future.
Oh yeah, limited.
So he's like, if it's a limited edition thing, he's like, you'll make your money back
100%.
on something like that if it ever goes into. So I mean, if maybe you want to buy it for that.
Oh, I agree. Yeah,
I should have kept my Wii U.
Yeah, you should have. Why didn't you?
I don't know because
limited edition.
No, but the Wii U is gonna be like one of those consoles that's hard to find.
I've got all my consoles, all my Nintendo consoles. I still have.
I still got my Wii U right in there.
I got all of them from NES all the way up to Switch.
Yeah, I sold mine to get the Switch.
Oh,
You traded it in.
Uh-huh.
So they're like,
Yeah.
here's a nickel. Thanks.
No, they gave me like
Dang.
100 and something for it.
yeah.
When you're poor, you got to do what you got to do. You
You
know?
gotta do what you gotta do. you gotta dig into the couches. You gotta get all the
Exactly.
coins.
Get on them coins.
And you gotta sell the Wii U because that was not the best one.
I liked it. I like the game where the
Chubby Chasers.
yeah.
Chubby Chasers? That's not what it was called.
That's not what it was called.
But there was 5 people.
That's what we
There was
called
5 players, and it's like Chubby Chasers.
Because you got chubby.
Oh, did you?
It was Animal Crossing characters.
Oh.
And you had the 2 people that would have to
get candies,
eat up all the
yeah.
candy.
Oh yeah. That was a game mode.
And then the
Yeah.
person would chase. You would control one person with one
Yeah.
joystick and another, and you had to chase the chubby
Chase
guys.
the chubbies.
They're called the
Chubby chasers.
Chase the Chubby.
Hey, you still got that?
Game. Yeah, dude.
Hey,
that
we
was
got to pull that out sometime and just play some
that
of
was a
those
super fun
games.
game. That was just like the base Wii U game.
Because you had the Mario where you also had to hide and
That game, classic.
yeah,
Those games were super
That's
fun.
such a good game.
or the one you had the flashlights and you had to get to the ghost.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Great console.
Back when Nintendo was creative.
Bad marketing.
Yeah, bad marketing. I would.
No
agree
one
with
even knew. I remember when we waited in line for it. People were like, "What are you waiting in line for?" We're like, "The Wii U." And they're like, "What?"
you. What's the Wii
What's
U?
that?
What's that? Wee.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Good
dude,
time.
that's
Hey.
what they'll never rename the next console after the original.
Switch you.
Yeah, they're not going to do that ever again. What is it going to be called, guys? What do we think it's going to be called? The next
I
Nintendo.
think we already talked about this. Switcheroo.
Yeah, the
I don't
switcheroo.
know if we talked on the podcast. Though.
I think we did.
I
Yeah.
think we might.
Did we?
Yeah.
Okay.
Recycled joke. Switcheroo.
Yeah.
I don't know. I would assume they might just go with Switch 2. No? Or
I
would
feel
they-
like Switch 2 makes like that's not confusing as far as like it's the second one. Whereas Wii U was like, is it an add-on for the Wii
Yeah.
or is it a brand new console? That was the
Right.
huge confusion.
Yeah.
Because I feel like they're going to keep their Joy-Con stuff, like the idea of like switching.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I guess that aspect, though, you do want to distinguish it from the Switch.
I think they do.
So it'll be called the...
It's gonna be called YouTube. It's like switch in, or it's just like Wii U and two, U2, like U the letter and then TOO.
Maybe.
We'll see. We'll find out.
YouTubes. Wait, YouTube. Yeah, it should be called YouTube
Yeah, I don't know. I'm excited to see what they come up with, though.
next year. It's gonna be
It'll be
Pyramid. That's what my friend said.
That's what I said.
You're my friend. I wasn't sure if it was Jelly or not.
It was. I said it was going to be like a
It'll be a
pyramid.
pyramid. It's gonna be a
Illuminati.
It's gonna be yeah. That's what it's gonna be called.
Yeah,
Illumi.
that's right. One last thing before we go. Did you guys see the trailer for the new Godzilla
Oh,
stuff?
I didn't watch it.
Looks really good. It's on Apple TV. It's like a series.
Series
and
Godzilla
yeah.
Kurt
series.
Russell and his son,
Holy
and they
smokes.
play the same character.
Hey, I was
What?
shocked. I was shocked at how good this looks.
Really?
Absolutely
What's
shocked.
it called?
Monarch.
Oh, I saw an
Yeah.
ad for it. I didn't see the trailer.
Monarch something, yeah. But it looks really good. And hey, I'll say this. The CGI looks awesome. I thought it was a movie, and then when it was like, oh, it's a series, I was like, what?
Wow.
And
Wow.
one of the guys
Amazing.
Apple's
Apple's got money, dude.
That's
throwing
what I'm
it,
saying.
yeah.
throwing it at Messi, throwing it at Monarch.
Exactly.
Hey.
But there's a guy, oh man, I can't remember his YouTube channel. Anyways,
Geeks are us.
no Theory. Not
Does it really matter?
Theorize.
he goes, yeah, because I mean he's a popular
Give
guy.
him the credit. Give him the credit.
I don't remember his name though,
come
but
on.
he's the guy that goes. You guys have probably seen him. He goes, theory time, theory time, theory time.
Oh,
No?
you're talking about
yeah.
why can't
Come
I
on,
think of his name?
you got it.
I love that guy.
He's funny. Yeah, he's
It
good.
was pretty funny.
Dang it.
What?
I have.
Whatever.
Anyways, so apparently he got to watch like the first 2 episodes or 3 episodes, and so
Okay.
he tweeted about it. He says it's really. He's like the monster stuff is what you want to go watch the like Godzilla movies for.
Okay.
And he's like, that's great. He's like, but the human characters, they're not just doing stupid things. He's like, you're actually like what they're doing. He's like, so it's really good.
That's good.
So it's
And
not
so-
like Transformers where
Right. Or even the last Godzilla movies where it's like, you don't care about the
Right.
human characters. You just want to,
Right.
and it's like, he's like, they're actually not being stupid and they actually have a interesting storyline. So I was like, okay,
that's surprising.
cool. So I was shocked about how good it looked and got me excited for it.
Yeah.
Take
So
my money, Apple TV.
The YouTube channel you're thinking of is Heavy Spoilers.
Heavy spoilers.
Oh, okay, yeah, no. Yeah.
TV time, TV time, TV time.
It's pretty funny.
Ding. Oh, the thing I was gonna say, I don't know what she said, but it reminded me, Toys R Us
Coming back, baby.
Coming back?
famously out of business, got out of here many moons ago. Yeah, next year they're looking at 2024. They're bringing 24 flagship stores back to the United States.
Anyone in Spokane?
No, I don't
Not
know.
a chance.
Probably not. It's probably
Because they had some good Legos.
they had some good Legos.
I don't know why I said it that way.
They didn't have good Legos. They had Legos that were discounted because nothing bought them there.
Well, that is true, but they had
good
they had a
Legos.
bigger selection. You go to some stores and you're like,
that's true.
huh.
Bro,
And they're opening a Lego store
they are-
downtown.
that's what I was gonna say. Downtown.
I might
I
work
might get
there.
a job there.
mall.
For the discount.
I
It would
wish
be-
you
For
did.
it
the
would be so
discount.
worth it.
For the discount.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
I might have to do it.
Go
I
in
have
there.
I have
need to
4
get a
jobs
job
now.
at Lego corporate somehow.
Show me you're a mega builder, dude.
Hey, I keep tweeting out Lego and being like, hey, check our channel out.
We don't do Lego anything.
We will.
Our whole
Check it out,
background's
bro. Check it out.
Legos.
Look at that. What do you want us to do? Lego
Legos.
stuff.
Hey, and
Check
we've
this
done
out.
videos with where we build Legos, like Rivendell and
Yeah,
Josh
we
did
did the
his
The
castle.
Lion's Castle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did we actually post those?
Yeah. Not very many views.
yeah.
It's okay though.
Hey, it's out there.
They'll see it.
Yeah. Maybe.
Yeah.
So next episode, we're doing a live stream building of the Millennium Falcon. No one gets to go to the bathroom or to sleep until it is built. It's going to take us around 20 hours.
Who's buying the Millennium Falcon?
We're
We
all
should get the
buying it.
Venator.
What'd you say?
We used to say we should get the Venator. It's like the giant
Star Destroyer.
from the Clone Wars.
From the Clone Wars.
It's $800, right?
No, it's $650. It's cheap.
Oh,
It's cheap, baby.
How much is a PS5 again?
500.
hey, that was my decision. PS5 or Rivendell.
He chose
It was the
wisely.
same, and it was the same price, $4.99,
Oh my god.
and I chose Rivendell.
And how many hours of fun did you get from Rivendell?
A lot, but hey, I just go into the room and I look and I put on the music,
And then you
I
get a
just
little
like,
Frodo and you're like,
and I just move them around. I dust it.
That's the worst part of it. Like, you got to dust.
Yeah,
the
you
thing.
got to dust those.
oh
hey,
my
but
gosh.
hey, pro tip: any of you Lego people out there, you go to Lowe's or Home Depot and you get the samples, carpet samples. Those things are money to clean
Yeah.
Legos.
Magic.
You get a shaggy one,
Oh.
and you just go. It doesn't.
There's one right behind you, bro. Look at that.
Oh my gosh. He has one right there. Oh my word.
Look at this.
Boom.
This is what it is. Home Depot. You just go get
Show
it.
it,
This
show
is
it, show how to do it,
this
show how
is
to
a Gallup Maverick. Look at this. You just go it over the Legos, or then if you needed to get into certain spots, you just bend it.
Oh.
Ooh, it goes through those Lego. Ooh,
The little like
and it doesn't scratch them.
studs.
It
Doesn't scratch them. It's great.
Wow.
For years, I used a toothbrush that was like soft one.
Yeah.
Scratches your Legos.
Yeah, no good.
I use my wife's makeup brushes. Not good enough.
I use canned
These things.
I use canned air.
Pro tip, and this is free.
Expensive.
Free.
I have a
You just
air
go get
compressor.
samples, bro. Go get samples at Home Depot and Lowe's. I got like 30 of them. They're like, "Oh, you guys are doing carpets?" No, just cleaning my Legos. That's how it's
Hey,
done.
That's a pro tip.
Pro
And
tip.
make sure to follow our TikTok.
That's
'Cause
right.
That little clip's going to be up there.
Hey, that wouldn't be a bad idea.
That's a great idea. You want to know a pro tip? How to keep your Legos nice and shiny.
exactly. Hashtag Lego ambassadors.
Yeah. We're going to start switching our content to
Yeah.
Legos. Only Legos.
There's plenty of Legos here.
I say
Lego reviews.
I say we bust them up and see if you can rebuild them.
Oof.
I say we bust Jones up.
No, no. We already had our Harry Potter Legos get busted up, and I'm going through and being like, I don't know this because I don't do Harry Potter Legos. It's my wife's job. I don't like Harry Potter.
There's the same bricks.
no, it's
no,
not as fun.
Whoa, I don't know.
I
how to
don't
do
know.
this.
I'm like, where's this tree from? Is this from Gryffindor's tower? Is this from the hospital wing? Or is this from whatever other place?
Hagrid's Shack.
Hagrid's Shack.
The only one that has a tree is the troll one. That's what the tree.
No, the Christmas tree one. What's the Christmas tree set?
Christmas.
Or the dance. They have a dance.
Oh, the winter ball.
Yeah. So that one has a tree that has inside of it.
That's a Christmas tree, and then I think it goes. It's pretty obvious which one it goes with.
Yeah, but they're all
I don't know-
but
I don't know
okay.
what tree this
Listen,
goes to.
listen to this though.
Maybe
They're
we
all
aren't-
the same.
Maybe we aren't
They're
fit
all
for
the
Lego
same color
content.
bricks, and there's like 10 of the sets that are all part of this Hogwarts, right?
Yeah,
And so they
yeah.
all got broken.
Yeah.
So there's the same brown pieces that are wall pieces
Yeah.
for you to be like, there's like 10
Oh.
sets in here.
You look at the instructions and you build one at a time. All the pieces are the same.
Yeah, but
you
you-
have all the pieces.
Yeah, but you want to not have to build them all. You want to be like, oh, there's a big piece. Let me just add it to here. But they're all in a big. Do you know what I'm saying? I want to just try to make it easier and be like, let me put this back together instead of like going back.
The amount of time that you're taking to try and fit them together, it's way faster just to build from scratch.
Dang. And you get to enjoy it
Lego
again.
Lego. I was gonna say snacks.
Hashtag Lego snacks.
Lego tips.
Hey, that sounds dope, dude. You get to build your snacks, dude. That's awesome.
That wouldn't be too
Gummy
bad.
Legos or
They're
something
bad,
like that.
they're bad going down. Though.
Hey, that would be a good idea.
That
Lego
would be
snacks, dude.
I know why they don't do it.
Gummy snacks
gummy
that you can
snacks,
just
yeah,
make
yeah.
Kids are
something.
going to be like, gummies, and they eat these and then
No,
die.
you may obviously make them look like
and
gummy
they're
bears.
small. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You make them look like gummy bears and then you just stack them, bro.
Okay.
Like stack a red one with a blue one and it gets a different flavor.
You wouldn't be able to stack them.
Unlike gummy bears that have different colors, but they all taste the same.
Whoa.
Gummy bears don't all taste the same.
They all
Whoa.
taste pretty
No,
much
they
the
don't.
same.
He's claiming the white gummy bear.
Fruit Loops is what you're thinking of.
Oh, yeah.
Fruit Loops all taste the same.
Well, that is
That
true.
is true.
Gummy bears taste different.
Yeah.
Not
different juices.
Not
Yeah,
like
real
the
though.
white. What do you
Not
mean
like
real?
not like in a way that you can really be like, oh,
Yes, you can.
Yeah, you can.
The red one versus the white one.
That's an apple.
Okay.
Clearly.
If I blindfold you next week, if I blindfold you guys and give you a gummy bear, you're gonna know
I can
what
run-
flavor.
It has to be Black Forest.
Yes. 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 Yes.
Oh, now you're making
Black
no.
Forest.
Okay,
100% juice,
okay.
baby.
Yes. I agree with
See,
that.
now you're changing
This is
it.
a black. No, it's not. They're gummy bears.
Yeah, man.
No, you're saying a certain brand of gummy bears
Well,
has
it's because
different
he's what
flavors.
he's used to.
Because
It's what
that's
he's
what
used to.
this is a Black Forest house.
Yeah.
Oh my
don't
god!
get
See, now
that.
you're changing it. Now you're saying fruits. It's like
Yeah. Well, he doesn't eat trash gummy bears.
That's right.
Okay, only the
I
best.
pay for the premium. You know what I'm saying?
primo,
straight
primo
from the
gummy
forest.
bears. Okay.
He wants those gummy bears. He wants those bears off the trees.
Well, maybe I'll get some Black Forest and see if you can do it.
Sounds good.
so what do you think you could do accuracy wise?
Yeah.
You
How
got
many
them
colors?
all?
How many flavors?
What?
50.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I'm
saying 50%.
Sorry. Then that's my whole point. I said
Well, no,
they
no,
have
no.
different flavors.
You said
No,
they all
okay.
taste the same.
Okay.
50% is not.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. I said they all taste the same, and then you said a certain brand has different flavors, and I said what I said was not something that's like a big difference.
Dude.
Like they still taste
Don't
like
worry, I'm
pretty
gonna buy
close.
gummy bears and I'm gonna eat them every day.
Just to train your
Red.
Yeah.
Train your palate.
Red, white.
for the whole week
And you
until
can't
next
smell.
week.
Can't smell them.
What? That's part of taste.
No, it's not. That's
Yes,
smell.
it is. No,
that's
it's
not part of taste.
Did you know that 70% of taste is smell?
Well, we're talking taste test
You're
here.
gonna make
why-
me plug my nose.
Jonah,
Like,
that's
no
why
way.
when you're
I'm
eating
not- I'm
something
not letting-
gross,
yeah.
you plug your nose.
I'm not letting you smell it before you eat it. You're
Why?
just going in.
That's like,
I want you to use your natural
It's like-
smell in there. Mouth smell, the connection there.
yeah, this is
Well, joke's
crazy.
on you because I'm gonna swirl it around in my mouth.
Well, you can do that.
and then I'm
and
gonna
smell it in there.
and I'm gonna smell it, and I'll put it back in. Yeah.
You can't.
Yeah.
That's not the rules.
What are you tying our hands behind our
Yeah,
back?
that's
too?
what I'm
Jeez
doing.
Louise.
Yeah.
Out of
I
the-
might even connect two gummy bears, bite the head off of a red one, put it with a white,
dude.
and see.
and you're gonna make them eat something to you big.
yeah,
dude.
sure. And then be like,
man.
you know, you just stick it back. Frankenstein gummies.
And you better hope you got both of us blindfolded and tied.
Franken gummies.
That was strong.
Anyways, I think we're done.
That's gonna do.
That's
it for
going
the
to do
show.
it for this episode of the Nerd Age Podcast. Thanks so much for hanging out with us. We'll be back next week with more random
Who knows?
Nerd Age
We might
stuff.
be
We'll
tasting
see.
gummies.
We'll see what
You
happens.
never
We could, yeah,
You know.
it would be awesome. Thanks so much for hanging out with us. We'll see y'all next week.
See ya.